Masturbate with a cheer too to start off the stream. What is up, my friends? Mr. Masturbate, your streaming donations are actually up there as we speak. Thank you, sir, for being a continued supporter of my stream. Welcome, fans, to chess training here on lichess and Twitch. International Master William Paschall. We are going to be playing Blitz and Rapid Chess with our viewers and friends here. If you'd like to send me a challenge, something between 5+3 and 7+3, casual, please. I like to take my time and really do some instructive commentary. Try to make my stream, I think, the most instructive you can find. Let me get the board up. I think we've got video capture. Let me see. Screen capture. Something's wrong here. Window capture. There it is. All right, guys. We want to see lichess.org on the screen, so we're going to put it up there. Sparkle Horse on lichess. Intro National Master. Me. What is up, guys? Asterbay, good to see you. Here early morning. 10 a.m. in Budapest, Hungary. So happy to be back, guys. I was kind of bummed out being in the U.S. Pretty boring place where I was living. It was referred to. I referred to it as Zombieville. So we are back out of Zombieville now, and in Budapest, playing crappy chess in our Budapest and Hungarian team chess leagues. I had two kind of weird games where I didn't castle, was clearly better, and then almost lost, or could have lost probably if things hadn't gone well. Ludwig AC challenging me. Astrobates in 1 a.m. in Las Vegas. Not too bad. It's not too late. I would say if you were up at if you're up at like 4 in the morning, you have to be like a complete loser to do something like that. But 1 o'clock in the morning, Astrobate, I think that's. I mean, if you're up at like 4 a.m., you just have absolutely no life. You must be like a complete waste of. No, Astrobate 1 a.m. is completely acceptable, especially in Las Vegas. Like, who isn't awake at 1 a.m. in Las Vegas? Ludwig AC, what's up? Alms, 2 of our subscribers here. So I'm going to get started. If you guys want to challenge me between 5+3 and 7+3, send me a challenge. Casual, please. That's me, 4 a.m. You just said it was 1 a.m. It's 1 a.m. All right, Ludwig AC. It's 10 a.m. in Germany, yep. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm starting the stream maybe not at the optimal time, but for me it's a fresh time and my mind is fresh. I feel like I play really well. Maybe it's not the optimal time for the maximum viewerage. Nils is here. What's up, man? Playing my variation against the Rossalimo. The problem with this is that I become kind of predictable, so people who play this regularly know exactly what I'm going to play. I really need to play a secondary. It's weird. I need like a secondary variation against the sideline. Now, I don't think I've ever really seen this much. It doesn't make that much sense to double the pawns and then undouble them. But actually, you know, it could actually transpose to a kind of. Interestingly, it could transpose to a kind of Moscow variation. I wonder if I should play knight f6 or not. Knight f6, e5 is no good. Knight f6, knight c3. Well, it probably can't hurt me to throw that in. And then if he takes on c5, I take on e4. Nils, what's up? Very briefly working. Briefly working? How's your... What's the word I'm looking for? How's your job, shall I say? Apprenticeship or whatever. You've got to do this. What's the word I'm looking for? Alright, knight takes d4. So, he's visiting briefly. The work. I'm working too, man. This is my work. Niels, thanks for 8 subsequent months. Can I say that? Subsequent. Contiguous months of subscription here on my stream. What's up, friends? So I'm so happy to be back in Europe, though. This feels like more like my home than it really feels more like my home than the United States. Now, A4 is a strange move. I can't really figure this one out. What does that have to do? I mean, what does that really have to do with it? What is A4 about? I'm not sure, man. I mean, if C5, he wants to put his knight on B5. I mean, my main concern here is developing my pieces. I love the dragon. Gotta go, man. Take care. Alright, Nils. He's enjoying the internship. Don't let them beat on you, you know, haze you and make you just make coffee and stuff like that. You're more than a coffee machine. Don't forget it. Okay, knight G4 is a little early here. You could play it, but I don't see the point. Now it might be better. Queen D2, blocking his bishop's retreat squares. Knight G4. Still not that convincing. So knight G4, bishop G5. I don't have a way to really go after him. Doesn't seem to achieve anything. JCS is here. Message unimportant. I like that. Alright. I've been awake for a while, but I'm just kind of getting my brain, you know. It's one thing to wake up, but it's another thing to kind of wake up your chess brain. You can be awake I can be awake for several hours, but if I'm not playing chess, it's kind of different mode of thought. Rook b8, I mean, a4 kind of makes him a little bit backward along the b file, in a sense, some sort of rook b8, rook b4 ideas. Castles, bishop h6, obviously. You know, this is what I'm debating, you know. It's like knight g4, bishop g5, h6, bishop h4, h6, bishop h4, g5. That's just too weakening of my king side with very little really benefit. Maybe I can play knight g4 and then queen b6. Still, I'm not sure what that even does. There is an interesting possibility. I just feel like I'm going on a fishing expedition here. Knight g4, bishop g5. Need coffee. I need more coffee. I only had one small coffee. You know, those European style coffees. I need like the full-fledged Dunkin' Donuts size coffee. What's up, everybody? I was talking trash about Infinite Flash Chess. That's what I do, you know, basically in my free time. JCS, you were here yesterday. Infinite Flash wasn't here for my simul yesterday. My team game on Sunday, this guy played this rubbish against me, and I still didn't beat him. He had the audacity to play a line that I've actually played myself. Didn't even know it. He was totally ignorant. Like, he didn't even know that I've played this line, because he didn't look at my games with black, obviously. He's looking at my games with white, if he prepared for me at all. And he just, like, played something that I played myself, except played it wrong. Like, made up something that doesn't exist. And somehow I still managed not to win. I almost lost, like, the final position where he agreed to a repetition of position is, like, nearly lost for me. But he had, like, 10 seconds or something for 15 moves with increment. So he just sort of freaked out and agreed to a repetition. Fun game. I'm playing quickly enough, playing okay in the opening, but I keep screwing up. Alright. The rubbish was a form of the Old Indian, the so-called Ukrainian variation, with like d6, e5, and e4 against the English. I mean, it could be a queen pawn game too, because he eventually played, yeah, it's effectively an Old Indian with knight f6, knight c3, d6, e5, knight f3, e4, knight g5, and now instead of queen e7, he played bishop f5, which is actually the old move. That's inaccurate. Okay, knight takes e3. Ludwig managed to screw this up. I thought his position was reasonable, but you can't give me the dark squared bishop. You got to play bishop g5 here. This is only move. And then the critical line was bishop g5. Maybe h6, maybe not, but queen b6, and then knight b3. When I thought that I was going to play queen a6, kind of sit on this diagonal and try to prevent him from castling comfortably. But there's something a little artificial about the whole thing. Rubbish. I've been hanging out with Nefedov too much. Needs to get you involved. I needs to get you involved. Infinite Flash, have you been streaming? You love the bishops. When I was a young buck, I liked me some bishops too. I mean, the bishops are good, but they're also overrated. You know, I mean, a lot of people become way too hung up on it. Stockfish for one. Alright, so we're just winning material here. Queen takes b2. I mean, c5. Whatever you want. This is good too. Yeah, I mean, these bishops are brutal. You've been streaming, but not at good times. I'm just kind of disappointed that I drew this guy. He was like 2198 or something. And last time I just beat him easily. He was practically lost again. I mean, the computer was like +2. All of my opponents are like -2. And I can't beat them. With less time. It was a weird position. Bishops for free. My opponent yesterday played like a maniac. Just rubbish. I failed to punish him. It's the second opponent I've had in a row. I've only been back for like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. The second opponent in a row who played like a maniac against me. I don't know, do I have this like play like a maniac sign? Stable to my back or something? Why are people playing like that? You want 2 queens for a rook? Or 2 rooks for a queen? This is what could have happened in my game yesterday. He would have had like queen versus 2 rooks, but like too many pawns. Too many pawns for comfort. That's how I probably should have lost yesterday. A lot of people are rightfully afraid to play when you have like 2 rooks versus the queen because it's imbalanced and it's like awkward and sometimes difficult. Yeah, this is a good try. Try to mix it up. Not really that interested in that. He can play like h4, h5, play for mate. Although h4 here, probably not the most accurate move order. Since I would just snap it off. I mean, you gotta have a plan. I mean, that's a plan. This is technically lost for white. Yeah, I had this friend, I've told it on the stream before. Frank. Frank was like 1600. And he explained to me once, to my friend and I who started chess together, he explained to us once why he refused in like this totally neutral moment to accept like 2 rooks for the queen. His logic was that he liked moving all 9 points at once. I guess there's some truth in that, you know, it's easier. Keep it lazy. Munch, munch. Yummy pawns. Queen is a stronger piece, so it's better than one rook for sure. Out of my last 20 games, how many of those draws or losses? My last 20 games? I probably have something like ridiculous. Like 16 draws, 1 loss, and 2 wins, or that doesn't add up. In my last 20 over the board games, I probably have something like 2 wins, a loss, and 17 draws or something. Ridiculous. I'm not really sure. Maybe 2 wins, maybe 3 wins and a loss. But there was, I'm not sure. Yeah, it has to be. There's only 1 loss. I mean, really, in 2000, no, 2 losses maybe in 2018. I lost 2 games in 2018. And I won more than that, probably. I can't really go by the last 20 games. I could probably say by the year. But I mean, look at my games. Like the last 2, I didn't castle. They were completely unclear, crazy positions. And they're still draws. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if it's... It just doesn't matter. It's just always a draw. Queen b3, the ultimate defense. Problem is a lack of pawnage. Alright. Put yourself out of your misery. Pawn is looking excited. Starger. Thank you for subscribing. He's always excited. But I didn't play h5 in this game. That's his big thing. He just lives to play h4 or h5. Like an Osembe. Which is caveman in Hungarian. He's basically a Ponda caveman. Very primitive. There he is. He's again drinking beer in the morning. Alright. I don't know, he likes this. What is Carlsberg? It's like, is it Danish? I don't know what's with the Carlsberg Ponda. Keep buying that, but I don't really like it. I prefer the Czech or Slovak beers myself. The Ponda keeps going down to the shop next to the zoo, you know. The zoo's really close to our apartment. And he comes back with like all kinds of beer that I don't like. Alright guys, what do we got for challenges? We're taking Blitz and Rapid challenges, 5+3 through 7+3. Alms, stupid names left, Mule Skinner. Now Cobblepot challenged me to rated, and anyway he's got a new account, so he's violated 2 rules. No rated, no casual, I mean no unrated, no new accounts with less than 100 games. What I'm trying to say. Petcha, on the other hand, is rated 2600. He's higher rated than me. He's only 2300 in Blitz, but he's 2600 in Bullet. Now, he doesn't qualify because he doesn't have enough rated games, non-counting Bullet. Oh, yes, he does. No, he has only 40 in Blitz, so we can't play him. Plus, he's too good anyway. Show me up. No, but seriously, I asked people to have like 100 games. I'm not going to play Petcha because he has just 40 games. Bullet doesn't count. Petcha comes back tomorrow with 100 games, non-Bullet. I will accept his challenge. Or later in the stream, if he plays like 60 games, or close to 100. Stupid names left, Mule Skinner. Alright. We're going to play you guys. Subscribers first, by the way, for Mondays and Wednesdays. What's probably the best beer? What, the Carlsberg? Mule Skinner. Nefyadov is living in Britain. Yeah. Is he here? He should be working. So, Alms. Carlsberg, it's not bad, but I like Staropramen. Do you guys know that? It's like a Slovakian beer that we have here. There's a lot of good Czech beers readily available. I mean, since I'm in Central Europe, you know, we ought to drink Central European beer. All right, let's play a little bit of King's Indian. I haven't done much of that lately. So I try to avoid the main lines when I play the black side of the King's Indian. I'm not one for the Mar del Plata. I tried to do that when I was starting the King's Indian, and it's like really one-dimensional positions with the pawn races and stuff. It doesn't even feel like you're playing chess. It just feels like you're playing this like pre-recorded position that everybody's memorized like 30 moves. So for that reason, I don't really like playing the classical King's Indian with e5 and knight c6. It just feels like the game's playing you. You're not playing the game. And the other variations where we don't play e5 and knight c6 in the King's Indian, there's a little more play. I like it better. I played knight d7, knight a6, e5, e5 with e takes d, pretty much like every kind of sideline as black in the King's Indian. King's Indian is not super popular now because we don't have a world champion who plays the King's Indian. I mean, when Kasparov was world champion, when Fischer was world champion, the King's Indian really became very popular. But I think with computers having more say, you know, in everyday chess players' lives, people are realizing the evaluation is kind of criticized by Stockfish and engines. I mean, you see how much the space really means if average players are looking at chess engines on sites like this. You see the King's Indian gives so much space to white. You know, like automatically white is like plus 0.6 or something like that right out of the gate. People are less inclined to play openings like the King's Indian, where you're ceding so much space. I think the Grunfeld is probably a better opening. There was a game I had with the now Grandmaster from Germany, Alexander Neumann, who played this move against me, but I can't remember if we were castled or not. And I remember thinking a long time in that game and coming up with something. That game's been quoted in books. I feel like I played bishop g4 in the opening, but now I'm not sure it makes any sense. I'm not even sure what the idea would be. I don't remember. It was 20 years ago when I played this guy Neumann, and he beat me, and it was a funny tournament. It was a funny tournament. It was my first Grandmaster Norm tournament, round robin, and I like had 11 rounds, drew 9, lost 1, and won 1. So the draw thing started pretty early on. That was the one game I lost, was this King's Indian to Neumann. Yeah, I mean, the King's Indian was more popular even a few years ago. That's true. Well, there is a good book on it by Bologan. I mean, it will never go out of completely go out of fashion. But my theory, anyway, is that the general population of chess players is becoming more in tune with what chess engines sort of say about openings. Then there's just general fashion as well. Because the world champion, like I said, isn't playing the King's Indian. Magnus never really been a King's Indian player. He could play anything, basically. So I don't like h3, though. That seems kind of lazy. And one thing you can do at times is... Well, I mean, okay, it's not a really bad move, but you can sometimes like trade the white square bishops. I had a game like that yesterday. But here white would have to take with a knight because he'd be dropping his d-pawn. So I'm definitely forced to take. So I have a method of simplifying the game with bishop takes d4. Or I can just play e5. I guess e5 is a little bit better. Or is it? I don't want to just play like e5, take with the pawn, and then have myself a bad bishop. Have yourself a bad bishop day. And that's haunting me, that bishop on f3. Maybe I should just play e5 and take with the knight. I'll give him the 2 bishops. In fact, I already did. You go knight a6 against h3 too? Well, you can. I mean, that's probably a logical way to play. I've had trouble against h3, and I think a lot of people do. It is one of the highest scoring percentage variations if you look in the opening explorer, even on lichess. It's probably the same in a major database like ChessBase. The Kaganov system has a very good score for white. Now this knight on a6 is not a happy camper. Knight c5. It's a little like an accelerated dragon, I feel like. Or Marazzi, I guess I'm trying to say. At least my pieces are in the game. Okay, white has the bishop pair. But I don't like having that blocked in King's Indian bishop. But white has a really good control of the center here with d5. But I'm one of those players who plays both the black side of the accelerated dragon and the King's Indian. So I can turn King's Indians into accelerated dragons, basically, and play the same dark square blockade strategy that I would in the Marazzi out of this King's Indian. I'm not going to argue that white isn't slightly better here, technically, because of the white square bishop. But on the other hand, I mean, you know, it's not exactly a great piece with all those pawns on white squares. A lot of white square pawnage. So he's ready to break it up with f4. Anyway, I'm going to resist the urge to do anything stupid like f5. I'm actually threatening bishop takes c3 now. So we're ready, prepared, and all that stuff to put pressure on the e4 pawn. Give me that central pawn. He's up a pawn on e2. It looks a little like a pawn. Feels like a pawn. Has a little bit more long-term value. No bad pieces. I can easily pile up the pressure along the e-file. Okay, now, I mean, I guess we're looking at someone who's intentionally sacrificing his e4 pawn for dark square threats. I'm not in a big hurry, you know. I can play knight to d4. But again, I mean, rook e8 it's hard to argue that that's not a useful move here. I like these long games though. 7+3 gives us a lot of time to play kind of quality chess. I'm not really threatening anything then. If I take on c3, he's sacking that pawn anyway. There's nothing new. Knight b4, queen b1. Now he's starting to win a piece, and my queen is sort of tied down to protecting this. I mean, I have to, if I have to, I'll use the rook. f5. f5 is white square travesty. Yeah, I mean, we've got minor problem with that pawn on c7. But he's obviously threatening bishop takes. I mean, I think I made a mistake. I should have played knight d4 when I had the opportunity to do that. Although bishop takes c3 is still viable. Yeah, maybe I should stop being a chicken. Pawn is pawn. It's a central pawn. Now you just take on c5, effectively just exchanging. A 50 centiliter Carlsberg Panda drinking. I'm so bad with metric weights and measures. Yeah. 500 milliliters. It's nice and big. That's one thing I hate about America, you know, the fact that the beers are smaller. Standard beer size. Okay, Queen F6. Queen F6, Bishop A3. I'm starting to like this. This move's a little strange. I could easily end up with like triple pawns. Time's getting short. What's up, everybody? Yeah, we don't pull any punches. We go for the large beers here. 20 years ago when I like came to Hungary for the first time, I remember thinking like, hey, this is like the best thing about Europe. The general beer size. It's a wonder that like American beer companies don't lobby for larger beers. But I wonder if it's more profitable. You know, it's interesting economic question. And an interesting economic question is making the standard beer size larger. I did study economics for a couple of years. Is making the standard beer size larger more profitable to the beer companies? Anyway, interesting question and very important to the topic of our chess stream. Fuchsia, what's up? So what's up here? Interesting moment in time. Rook takes e4. So you should seriously consider taking with the pawn, because you would take away my outpost square at d4. I mean, I'm just saying consider it. I'm not saying it's definitely good, but you really need to seriously consider it, at least. Everything's hanging. The e4 pawn, the d4 square. Can squares hang? I think the white is okay here. Next. Is white okay? Are you sure? Let's just go in there. Shopping spree. I don't know how I'm going to sort this out, but first we'll have to protect the c7 pawn with the awkward rook c8. It's like a three-step program. Then we have to challenge his rook. Okay, so then it's going to be like rook d8. Then he's going to play this annoying move like rook d5. Then I'll have to play b6. Oh no. Got a trick based on rook takes f3. That's pretty crafty. Damn. That sucks. Oh, wait a second. And this is annoying. Maybe I should play c6. I don't think I'm winning here. I mean, I think I'm just probably equal if I play carefully. How about rook b8? Oh, man. alms for the poor. I don't know about this. Probably not the best position. Now white is potentially better. He didn't take the pawn though. It's like a free pawn. Not a free pawn. He could take on b7. Oh man, that's a good move. Oh man. What am I doing? This is like the stupidest move I've ever played. Did he have like trapping my bishop with like bishop e4, knight a3, bishop bishop d3 or something? Outside pawn with knight. Famously. Very powerful. I'm just kidding. Kind of technical. Damn it. How do I make progress here? 74 moves. That's it. I'm not sure about that endgame. Alright. Chuck Norris can mate with King and Knight versus King. That was fun. Very sound. Perfect endgame technique. What's up, guys? We got our money's worth from that game. Only stupid names left. 5 plus 3. Mule Skinner. Alright, guys. The 7-0 got to be re-challenged. 6-4, I'll let it slide. Normally, the longest time control I do is like a 3-second increment. Or matcha need to change to casual. Should be a draw, obviously. You were a pawn up. But once all the pawns got fixed on the dark squares, I'm probably out of the woods there. We made a lot of mistakes. I mean, it was an interesting middle game. I completely blew it when I let you get like doubled on the 7th. I had some sort of hallucination. But in any case, it should have been fine for white. Probably throughout. You were never really lost until the end. Maybe you were worse at points. Welcome everyone. International Master William Paschall. We are streaming here on Twitch and lichess. Getting my stream back and kicking into gear. I'm streaming 6 days a week. You can always count on me to be here. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday. Every day but Saturday, basically. Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays are in the mornings, and Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays in the evenings. I'm hallucinating. Man, I had some sort of hallucinations yesterday in my weird game. I was lost. Nearly lost. I guess technically lost when the guy agreed to repetition. But he had seconds left. He was about to flag, and he still had 15 moves to make the time control. It was like he had sacked a rook. He had a queen and a rook against queen and 2 rooks, but my king was stuck in the center of the board. He was attacking me. And it looked like he just had a repetition, but it turned out that he had what was almost a mating attack, and I would have had to sacrifice my queen back for his last rook, and he would have had like queen and a bunch of pawns for 2 rooks, which would have been horrible. I saw it, but he didn't. Okay, so this line is recommended. JCS is a big Avrook fan. I think this line is actually recommended for black in the Avrook book on the Slav. I don't own it, but that's what I was told. But I haven't really studied this seriously. I'm just kind of prepping one of my students on playing the black side of this, I think. Can't remember, it was a while ago. Now I can't remember what I'm supposed to do with white. Maybe it's f3 and e4. I mean, that must be the right plan. Was it queen d3? That doesn't look right either. Scaleaf just subscribed with Twitch Prime. Probably not the first time. It's something like this. I'm supposed to play for e4, but you have to be really careful of like knight g4. The idea would be to get my bishop out. Is anybody in the mood for a wing gambit? This is a little crazy. But maybe I can just take on c5. It's not crazy at all. Bishop a5 dc. Threatening d4. Okay, the idea is to roll the pawns. I don't know. Stupid Names Left has a bad score against me and kind of low rating, but actually he seems to play really well. I know that seems strange to say that when he's lost on most of the games, but that's just my observation. Guys feel like I kind of get lucky against him or something. He always has a pretty good position. Here again, he knew kind of important theory. And that was a nice little sidestep of the tactic with b4. Leaving us in a tactical position. Okay, this knight is not, it's not gonna die. The knight just can't stay on a2. This is weird. I have the bishops, but again, you know, this isn't much of a bishop. So that's why we have to take care with overvaluing the bishops. Open file definitely looks important. King to the center at some point with king f2. The pawn was on a3. Yeah, this is always a huge weakening for white in the Slav. Rook e8. Like, I can play b4, but I don't know. I mean, does that really serve a useful purpose for white? I mean, okay, it chases his knight away from b4 temporarily, but does it amount to just weakening me? He seems pretty good, man. I mean, for 1563 and like 1 out of 27, he plays very principled chess. Like too principled for someone who's 1563. Acerbate, you're like a normal 1563, 1600. You're getting better, but you started out playing unprincipled. You've improved. But only Stupid Names Left is a 1563 who plays like he's 1900. It's kind of weird, you know? Can't really put my finger on it. I'm still tempted to play b4. I feel like it just weakens me. You know, one thing I might want to do here is actually try to play knight d5 at some point to simplify a little bit. Well, here's the simplification. No, he might be heading for a slightly worse endgame. He's also incredibly fast. He's used only 1.5 minutes to maintain an equal position against International Master, rated 1,000 points higher. He's actually 1830 in classical. So I don't know why he plays so fast. If he plays better at classical, he should take his time. Another very principled move. Everything he does is like totally principled. I mean, I have a lot of experience playing people this rating on lichess, like hundreds of games. I mean, he just doesn't play like a 1500 normally would. He should be like 2000. But still he ends up losing the game somehow, you know, but I don't know how Black could play this game any more principally than he did. This position for 200 more moves this way. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. Q-Hin, hello. JCS has trouble remembering stuff. Well, contrary to popular belief, I think a lot of chess players don't have great memories. My last two opponents, like, make me look like a theoretical expert. I mean, the one guy, like, plays this. He's a 2350 FIDE master from Croatia. He, like, sacrifices a piece in a known position where it just completely doesn't work. And then the second guy, who's like a 2200 from Hungary, he just invents some kind of garbage variation that's never been played, doesn't work, doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, they make me look like I'm some kind of theoretical expert. And I really don't consider myself to be an opening guy. But still they manage to not lose. It's hard for me to beat someone, you know? It really is. It sounds like a sarcastic thing to say, but it's true. It's really hard to win a chess game, and I'm not the first person to say that. There's some grandmasters that have been quoted as saying something to that extent. I don't know how Stupid Names Left has 1 point out of 26 against me playing like this. I mean, it's just ridiculously solid. Yes, I have a tiny structural advantage. Yes, I have the bishop pair, but look at this bishop. I mean, it's not doing much, you know. The other one is not too bad. Attacking f7. But the pawn structure is very compact. All of his pawns are on perfect colors in coordination with his dark squared bishop. That's the perfect structure for black. His rook's on open file, king toward the center, bishop in the center, knights controlling central squares actively placed. I mean, you couldn't really ask for a more solid position for black. I don't think that I have an advantage here. In reality, yes, there are ways that black can go wrong, but objectively, the evaluation of this position is like equal. I'm not sure if I should exchange rooks or not, but I'm down to 39 seconds. Probably it was a bad idea to exchange rooks. I should have played rook a3. He could win a pawn there with bishop takes, knight takes a4. So maybe his only weakness is some sort of like slight... He missed it again. All right. I'm lucky if I can draw this position. I don't know. I always had some sort of counterplay about losing that idiotic A pawn. He's kept me under time pressure the whole game. I'm not dropping a pawn here, contrary to popular belief. I mean, I was dropping a pawn at one point. I pointed that out myself. There I would have had some compensation, but I mean, I would have been fighting for a draw. Anyways. The extra pawn should be decisive. But it's not a game to be proud of. I misplayed it, basically. I mean, you can look at the analysis board. It'll be like white never had a winning position until the very end, after he was almost lost. Let's quickly let it run out and check the analysis. Okay, at the end I had a winning position after he dropped a pawn. That's not a secret. You know, here I was like, this is where I like dropped a pawn myself with the idiotic rook d1. And before that it was just basically around equal. One point it says he was slightly better. So, I mean, here's a guy who's 1500. And it took him 30 moves to make a significant mistake. It's not easy to win games. Mule Skinner is next. I'll try to take this challenges against these guys. I do take the subscriber challenges first. I don't know if white had a small edge, man. I'm telling you, Infinite Flash. I think that the bishop's pair is not necessarily an advantage. It's an imbalance, you know, that can become an advantage. But I think in that case, you know, as I said about the pawn structure, I just don't think that's a classic Slav. I used to think the two bishops also was automatic advantage to white. It's not. There's a lot of pawns on board. It's pretty blocked up. I just don't think so. Scaleaf said, I am ARW. Alright, man. Yeah, I would take your challenge anyway. Okay, so Mule Skinner has a kind of weird system he plays, like knight c6 and bishop b4. I guess he does that with white anyway. It's rare to see people doing that with black, though. Bishop b4. The reversed Rossalimo. Bishop b4, knight to d5 here. And if e4, knight takes b4, knight takes b4, knight d4, I guess. I don't know if black has to play e4 though. This is a weird line that I just never really encountered until I saw Mule Skinner playing it. Probably more normal against g3. And typically, like, people tend to play that, like, more often are not without knight c6. Now he's playing bishop c5. Which definitely allows knight takes e5. I've looked at this, but I don't think it's as good as some other instances where the knight's already on f6. Knight takes e5, knight takes e5, d4. Or knight takes e5, bishop f2 check, king f2. I mean, why should this be bad for me though? Knight e5, knight e5, knight e5, bishop f2, king f2, knight e5, something like d4. I'll end up having to sacrifice a pawn. Alright, whatever. I'm just going to play e3. We would play this with white against black. He would play this with white against my Sicilian a lot. The downside of these variations where you do something like knight takes e5 is that it ends up trading a lot of pieces. And typically that reduces your winning chances. I do have a video on my YouTube channel, if you guys want to check out my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube, where I, a while ago, like 2 years ago, I created some standalone videos on the English, the four knights variation with knight takes e5, bishop c5, knight takes e5. And looking at those lines, I kind of figured out that I think the top players don't like that fact that they trade pieces, you know. Magnus would prefer to play something like g3, where he just doesn't trade stuff. There are practical considerations, I think, at the top level that don't matter that much at amateur level. Just trading one set of pieces frees the opponent to a great degree. It also sort of allows the top players to kind of get maybe like 15 or 20 moves into the game automatically before the game even starts without really any sort of time pressure. So I don't know what to compare this opening to. Like a weird Nimzo Indian. H3 inhibits his development. I'm not super worried about doubled pawns here, because when he doubles my pawns, He's going to be backward on the file. That's an important strategic consideration that a lot of people don't think about. When you have double pawns, it automatically gives you the advantage of having a half open file that your opponent doesn't have access to. So it's kind of, you don't read that in chess books. A lot of great players like world champion Mikhail Botvinnik had a real predilection to allowing double pawns, almost inviting it constantly. So Mule Skinner does the same thing. H6, perhaps trying to play like knight f6 and not get pinned. I think at the end of the day, he's going to have problems because he has nowhere to put his bishop. You could argue the same thing for me, but I'm going first. So I take away f5. I take away his ability to play bishop f5 here. And we're obviously going to castle kingside. It reminds me a little bit of like a weird Petrov or something. Now I could unpin myself, which is going to cast serious questions on his bishop. Can I say that? Casting questions? Like magic spells? I'm going to cast the question here. Knight e2. Journeying over to the king's side. We could both do that, though. He didn't afford himself with a chance to play bishop takes c3. Honda's getting kind of drunk now. He looks like he's going to pass out. You could give him something else. This is very... Now he's really going to get... he's really going to get sloshed now. Bottle of rosé wine. All right. He can't even talk. Yeah, that bishop is hurting. Where's Spectacular Camel? He likes the English in positions like this. He would appreciate this position. Another one of our viewers from Denmark. He would appreciate the Carlsberg reference. But all right, Mule Skinner not doubling the pawns. Now I could just leave this out here to dry. Drive the bishop on b4. I also like, well, I've got to keep an eye on b5. That would kind of break out. That's under control for now. Migratory birds. All right, this is not the greatest square. You'll hear me say, like, again and again many times, don't put your knights on g3, g6, b3, and b6. Slavin, what's up? It's an old Indian where white played e3 instead of e4 and black exchanged on d4. Kind of like that. Yeah, that's one way you could get this type of position. But how did this bishop get out here? An old Indian. He obviously had to exchange bishop takes knight on c3. He just kind of forgot in the heat of battle. Okay, rook e8. Although if I play a3, then he has bishop b6 at some point. All right, we can live with that. Reinforcing my pawn at d4, obviously, is my point here. I want that to remain protected. He does the same maneuver. He can eventually play c6 and get his bishop back. I could play b4 and c5 at any moment, but I was kind of hoping for something better. Man, it's looking like I'm running out of ideas. Damn it. Knight e7 was a great move. All this firepower toward his king side, and I've got nothing. I mean, obviously I'm better, but there's just nothing clear. Where's the knife f5 emote? F-pawn is a target. Hard to get at it. I can play knight f5. I mean, it doesn't do anything. Just doing such a great job surviving this. What was an ugly position now doesn't seem so bad. Yeah, I have all the pieces on the king side, so does he. There's nothing I can do. Now this is starting to get really irritating. Black's like better now. I don't even know what I did wrong. Just totally outplayed me. Just by doing nothing. Okay, hold on for a second. I thought he should just simply play bishop takes knight. I mean, the point is e4. You know, he just has better control of e4. He could have played bishop takes and knight e4. Just been all over me. Now he's only like equal. White's overextended. This is not a good situation. Mule Skinner was 1600. Now he's 1600 in Blitz and 2038 in Rapid. That doesn't make sense, man. I thought maybe I'd have something. Does this even do anything? Just losing a pawn. He's frustrated me so much. Faster and stronger. The bishop h2 was kind of unnecessary. Now I can't play g3. Let's play f3 first. It's kind of a joke. What is going on with this? I played this horribly. Now it's like the game I lost in the simul yesterday. Man, Mule Skinner played fantastically. Fuckbeer, I mean, I don't think I could ever trap his bishop per se. I don't see how that would happen. I let him out. I mean, he would always have like bishop b6 or some way of making that possible, wouldn't he? All right. I mean, I'm just lucky not to lose. I was completely lost. I had a really good run against Mule Skinner. I didn't realize this is his first draw in a long time. But he played a superb game. Well, at some point I could have played b4, right? Instead of knight g3, someone said. Like here, okay. So a3. Let's do the analysis board for a second. If I play a3, b4, of course I can play it whenever you want. a3, b4, bishop b4, bishop b6. Or you want to play what? Bishop a5, c4. I was already, you mean c5? You're talking about c5. Ah, c5. Right, okay. Yeah, this seems to win a piece, you're right. All right, so this is true. So he made a mistake when he played, I guess, a6. That's not going to help, though. Yeah, he's already screwed. Okay, Falkbeer's right. I should have trapped a piece there with c5. I was just thinking, okay, there's this problem, but that's okay. He can't attack d3 again, actually. Well, you know, pointed out that this is effectively winning a piece. Kick him back. And there's no real defense for it. Maybe if he plays 97 right away. That's trapping it right away. So, yeah. This is like trapped. Trapped right away. Yeah, I don't think he can save it. So I basically did the right thing with 92, but here I played knight g3. And it's always a bad move, as said before. But here, yeah, he just can't save it. Nice. I was just looking at b4 and thinking, okay, this is good for white, but maybe I can find something better by keeping the tension. Yeah, I didn't think it would get out of it. That's a good point. All right. So I was losing my way again. ARW and Haberbomb are subscribers. I'm going to take their challenges first. Thanks, guys, for watching and subscribing to the stream. Scaleaf subscribed today. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a typical trap. I try never to let this sort of thing happen when I'm black, obviously. Mule Skinner was just careless. But he never should have let that happen. I mean, his position was reasonable. If he plays bishop takes c3, we have a kind of normal game. ARW, are you with us? Oh, ARW. I didn't realize we had played before under your account. Pi Day is here. 1500 in Blitz. Stronger and longer time controls. Not a bullet player. Alright, maybe he'll be back, but I'm not going to wait. We'll play Haberbomb, our other subscriber. And when you get back, you get back. What's up, guys, with the chess world? I haven't been following any kind of like world tournaments. Is anything interesting going on? Haberbomb is one of those players who pays real attention to the openings. He's pretty well prepared. You haven't slept in 31 hours. Ouch. That sounds painful. Just the last time I didn't sleep for a long time was 25, and that hurt. I can just imagine 31. Sleep deprivation. Dead on the international tournament front, no? Well, I mean, there are always millions of tournaments all over the place, but they're not like these big promoted ones. You know, if you're really in tune with things, you would find out about lots of smaller tournaments throughout the world. There's almost always something going on. What are we gonna do? Just take back. There's so many different moves here for black. Knight c6, knight a6, castles, bishop takes c5. I'm not even sure if this is very good for black. It's a little bit passive. Another one of these Chom Ishtvan variations. Some Hungarian grandmasters have played this. Maybe Berkesh. It seems a little bit strange to kind of lose time, having to move the queen a couple times. I wouldn't want to play like Yevgeny Bareyev. Personally, I have played this variation with c5 in the past, but it's very theoretical, and I never had a great score. b4. We're just trying to turn it into a hedgehog. And you can make an argument, you know, in some situations that the knight is misplaced on c3. In typical hedgehog type position, maybe he doesn't want his knight blocking his bishop on b2 and blocking his c-file. Haberbomb seems to know what he's doing. White is landing the first blow. Essentially, white is that tempo ahead. Well, should I say the white should land the first blow? Basically symmetrical type position where he's got the first move advantage, which should count for something. I don't know anything about this variation. I never studied it, you know, like I was going to play bishop takes c5, queen b6 in a tournament. It's just something like kind of a sideline to play in Blitz. So, I mean, the main idea for white is this Rubinstein unraveling move, knight e4. He can play that right here. It does create some problems. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I think in the past, yeah, I mean, I played basically like d6, allow them to take on f6. It's probably not that bad. That's all I can say for it. pretty sad. That's the best I can say. It's not that bad. But this basically seems perfect for white. After not sleeping for 31 hours. Another opponent taking advantage of my poor opening preparation. He's really going to steal that pawn on h7. d6, knight takes f6, bishop takes f6, bishop takes, pawn takes, bishop h7. I can play f5 there. I don't really have a better... And it seems like I don't have a better plan. I don't trust black's position. I don't really like having these pawns smashed with knight takes f6. If I take with the pawn, he takes on h7 directly. And I can't even play f5, trapping the bishop. So I have to take bishop takes f6. And then he trades, smashes my pawns, and I think he has a slight advantage. If he takes on h7, he's going to sack a bishop for 3 pawns, and I think that's a little over the top. He could do it, but yeah, I doubt that's really correct. So bishop f6, gf6, and now he has to play chess from this position. Is white really better here? Maybe not. I mean, maybe that's everything hinging on bishop takes h7, f5. I mean, I don't know if he wants to venture. f5, knight g5. Somehow I don't think that's going to work out. So, okay. Just play chess, man. Castles. But again, h7 is sort of poisoned, so I could even castle queenside potentially. I think the safest place for my king is e7. I hate castling in general. I try to play dynamically, and that's why I don't understand why I have so many draws. Is this from a Sicilian? Yeah, it looks like it. It's basically a hedgehog where white played e3 instead of e4, effectively. Well, okay. So what's bishop e2 about? Just to prevent bishop takes f3. So he's going on the defensive. But it's reasonable. I mean, he's got a very sound position. This is the safest position for my king, as I mentioned earlier. He immediately targets my pawn here on d6. The only target he's got to work with, really. Because if I play rook hg8, this nuisance problem with this pawn hanging on h7. I mean, is that something I should really even worry about? Probably not, you know. Probably I should play like rook hg8, keep the other rook for d8. If he takes on h7, just play like rook h8 and say, okay, thanks to the open h file. Yeah, that would have been better. It would have probably been better just to go here. Like, have my pawn, I don't care. Now this way I have to worry about my d6 pawn, potentially like being a source of counterplay for white. Yeah, perfectly systematic play. d6, okay, it's protected. I can always trade like a Tweety bird. My queen for the rooks, and queen and pawn for rooks. Like the yesterday's game I was telling you guys about. 91, what else? I could play e4. Pawnify his bishop. But 91 looks alright. It's hard to increase the pressure then after 91. Found it. Good job. Queen C6, anybody? I guess it makes sense. I mean, I don't really have any threats here. He could just double rooks on the D file. Is Asterbait? Asterbait probably fell asleep. No challenges from Asterbait. I don't know what happened to Skyleaf. So Unicorn 99, Crystal Edge, these guys are non-subscribers, as far as I know. Okay, so you have to play F3. No problem. No problemo. How do I make progress from here? But why is F3 so bad? Infinite Flash is like, yikes. There's no way for me to improve my position now. I'm just stuck. There's no time for direct attack anymore. Just have to start to go on the defensive. Make sure this is protected. Maybe like H5. I mean, I guess maybe Infinite Flash, maybe black is better. But it's hard to break it down. And just battering ram. Yeah, it looks more like a Sicilian than a Nimzo. That's what I try to do when I play the Nimzo. Try to make it a Sicilian. He's distracting me on the queen side now. I don't know. What should I do? It's hard to break through. Man. Oh yeah, I guess that bishop's dead anyway. I mean, there's not much I can do against F3 anymore. Bishop's repurposed. I can unmake his bad bishop C. This is like brilliant. Trading my crappy bishop off. I'm hardly better at all. What a move. Oh my god. It's just like my simul yesterday. That's the exact same hallucination. Yeah, well, there's nothing I can do about it. I guess I had to take with the rook on c6, huh? That kind of kills my motivation for this game. Man. His play is horrible. His opening comment is, sorry if my play is horrible, haven't slept in 31 hours. Okay. Whatever you say, dude. Horrible. It was pretty horrible. He found that too. Well, I'm not going to win on time, man. It's an increment game. This is not sudden death. You don't win on time in games like this. He doesn't seem to be making any mistakes. Wow. That's particularly problematic. Wow, very heads up. All right, we robbed him. Who said good game? Infinite flash chess. That is not a good game, man. All right. Very quality save by me. Yeah, that was greedy. I mean, you should have settled for rook f8 check and take the bishop. All right, Crystal Edge. Well-deserved victory. Now, I'm whatever is the subscriber, right? We should take his challenge first. Uber driver. Just there's always a chance. One of my worst wins ever. Honda, I need some of that wine, man. After that game. 31 hours for that. I was that close to resigning. Everybody plays bishop f4 on the highest levels. But honestly, I don't think that any variation is necessarily better than another one. The exchange, Queen's Gambit, Bishop g5, Bishop f4. I mean, they're all playable, and Black has answers for everything. So the Queen's Gambit decline, like most major openings, should basically equalize for Black. Correct play. Haber bomb. Well, he has the satisfaction of knowing that he had me completely crushed to the point of embarrassment. Great in between tactic there. I didn't see when I captured on c6. The intermezzo rook b7 just wins material. That's pretty nasty. Okay, what's this b6 now? Strange move. I'm not sure there's anything white can really do about it. Exchanging on d5. If he takes with the knight, I take with the knight. It's nothing special. If he takes with the knight, I play bishop takes e7, just like a normal Tartikover. Rook c1. I've never faced this move, I don't think, b6 ever in my life. Random legal move variation, exactly. Why has nobody ever played b6 in the existence of chess? It looks a little weakening, I mean, but there is no way white can take advantage of it. And this is the problem. Uber Driver was notably missing yesterday. Oh, whatever doesn't know any openings, is that it? But he's really good in technique. Like he's been playing chess for 40 years. This looks like one of like Merle Dixon's defenses to the Queen's Gambit. Equalizing with effortlessly with like totally innocuous moves. Uber Driver really? Like b6 in this position on move 6? You think this has been played? I mean, I'm sure that it's been played by someone. But you think that literally there were some games between Capablanca and Lasker in that exact position? I mean, I'm not talking about like something similar. I mean, exactly. I never ever see that. We're very close to transposing, you know, but then white would have like another move and black would be castled or something. Like knight takes d5, e takes d5. If he's castled and my bishop's on d3, well, yeah, like then we have like a major variation of the Tartikover. But this not being castled already, it makes it something slightly different. It doesn't seem that bad for black at all. I mean, I can just pretend it's like we'll just transpose the same thing, I guess. I mean, if we're lucky, we can transpose. I guess I'm threatening queen c6. Well, I guess I was threatening queen c6. Should I go to e2 or d3? Or b5? And whatever has been playing chess for 40 years. He just doesn't learn openings. It took him 40 years just to play 15,437 games here on lichess.org. Hard to do that in... How long has lichess been around? Like 6 years? 7? When was your account established on whatever? We should do a little research. He was playing games before the site was created. They just like uploaded them. 1 year? That's unbelievable. 15,000 games in 1 year? What does that average out to? Divide it by 3 and take 2 zeros off, right? 500. That doesn't make sense. Well, it's 365 days in a year. I have to get the calculator out. How many games is that per day? Is that 500 games a year? A day? That's not even possible. It's something like 400 something games per day. Now you're saying 41. My math is messed up. All right. Yeah, I was going to say, okay, that's not that bad. Just 41 games a day. It was like 400. 5,000 per day. People ask you that at parties all the time. Oh, you play chess. You must be really good at math. Like, no, I dropped my math classes at school. I was too lazy to do my homework problems. Okay, back to B8. Prosaic. Infinite Flash Chess, you are Indian, right? Like of Indian heritage? He's saying like leave math to the Asians. Which rook? See the A rook here? What is that doing? It's like a standard Tartakover now. Just see the like waste of tempo with knight b8. And then we're back to the proverbial question of the placement of the bishop on d3 or e2. A couple would say put it on e2. I don't know. Uber driver's a chess historian. He was very proud of Queen A4. Capablanca also did it in the Caro-Kann, Uber driver. He was big on that maneuver. Queen A3. Queen A3. Ooh, Teshki. But I think it's time for... maybe I screwed up. Maybe I really messed up with the bishop move. I should have put it on d3 because I can use it to play bishop f5. Oh man, that would be really devastating if I had bishop f5 available. I guess it was just like a clear mistake then. The downside of bishop d3 was when he went c5, he could play c4 later with tempo. But the point is that it's not that easy to play c5. So I feel like we let him a little bit off the hook here. b4, knight d7, rook c3 or rook c2, rook c8, double the rooks, something like that, I guess. This really wasn't my original plan. It seems kind of artificial. Yeah, I mean, more than likely, Fischer-Spassky. Did they play that in the return match? I don't know all the games from that. Actually, I don't know all the games from both Fischer. That's before my time. The second match was in 1992. I was busy dropping out of math classes. All right. This is kind of a weird move. Bishop c6. probably have better than this. Still, it should be pretty good for me, I guess. I mean, I might even go a pawn down. But they would be double Isolani. So he's got the prisoner knight. And bad structure. Knight takes f7 is a sort of threat. Well, not right away, only if he plays rook takes a2, actually. No, actually, maybe it would work right away. I had knight f7, rook f7, queen e8 check. Still wouldn't work because of queen f8. That's funny. Black's position looks pretty dubious. I mean, clearly I have knight f7, but am I just like creating counterplay for him along the f file? Maybe I shouldn't even focus on that pawn at all. Get this other guy. Pick these, focus on picking these off. I have rook b1. Threatened now. If rook a6, his knight has no squares. It looks bad for black. The random move variation. Rarely do we get the smothered mate. All right, Pi Day, Unicorn. We'll try to finish out these games, guys. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me. Been a good Monday. Had some tough games. Knight f3. Too much knight f3. I should start playing e4 again. Yeah, I hate g3. I mean, but you're not supposed to play the Botvinnik variation or Botvinnik variation with the knight on f6, really. But I guess it would transpose after d5. Another interesting move there is if d5, maybe I could play queen a4. You see this from time to time. Misplaced knight in the Botvinnik system. And some people play like bishop e7. That's a sort of pseudo system. Which shouldn't be that good for black, but it's oddly not that bad. Alright, so his knight is blocking his f-pawn. That's supposed to be good for us. You could also do like bishop g5, but trade it off and you don't have that much. I feel like that would justify his whole position. The whole misplaced business would be irrelevant if I do bishop g5 and trade off my dark square bishop, which is a strategy I've used. We should go for immediate counterplay with b4. Country buffet. Country buffer. Going to country buffer. Man, that's been a long time since the country buffer. I think I've only been to country buffer once. It wasn't really an elegant eating experience. Different kind of choices. Yeah, a lot of move order tricks. But I think one of the greatest advantages is that like less professional players typically don't work out their systems against knight f3 as well. They used to have Country Buffet on the East Coast, but I think maybe they went the way of a lot of other things. I can't even find a Red Lobster. Knight h5. Of course, there's no reason to have Red Lobster like in New England. Okay, knight e1. Believe it or not, I'm in Budapest, Hungary, guys. Talking about Country Buffet and Red Lobster. Arthur Treacher's seafood. Nobody remembers that. E3. So he's going to get in f4. I remember I had a game I beat FIDE Master Miles Ardeman. He's one of those players who's like real nice to you after the game when he wins, but if you beat him, he behaves like a prick. It's kind of funny. Like a totally like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type of behavior. It was really funny. E3, bishop e6. Suddenly black's whole position seems completely reasonable after that weird opening with knight f6. So I utterly failed to take advantage of it. I'm going to play f4. You had your chance to play f4, and I'm not going to let you do it again. So Fishrat Cow, do you know what Arthur Treacher's is? I only play the Budapest Gambit in Blitz for fun. It was this like British fish and chips chain that was popular in the United States, like the 70s and 80s. It probably existed until the 90s. I don't know if it's still around. They used to have it in like the shopping mall and stuff when I was a kid. All right, queen d7, b6 square, bishop d2, complete development, prepare for b4. Black seems to be good here though. I don't know, man, it doesn't seem fair. His whole knight f6 thing, I mean, it looks slow, and yet he could still do everything he needed to do. Tim Hortons is not in the US. We have Tim Hortons, don't we? Maybe not. I guess I've just seen it in like the London Heathrow Airport. All right, knight f6, playing b4 was the point, right? But now black's playing d5. I think the black just has a reasonable game. I can play a4 now. There's no time. Actually, this is an annoying threat. The people who play bishop e7 can just put it on d8 and laugh at you now. He actually has to defend against this threat. I'm always pessimistic, but I don't think that white really has an advantage here. Okay, that's a major change in the position. Not necessarily better for white, but we have that white square bishop. Probably not a bad decision. My knight is pretty lame. Okay, now b4. I mean, am I gonna drop a pawn if I allow knight takes d5? I can just simply play e4. But I feel like doing something more active. I'm going to jump my queen over my knight. Yeah, I don't like b6. It's kind of passive, but I guess it's not that bad. Unfortunately for me, it's not that bad. Damn, this knight on c2. It's like he's purposely playing against it. Alright. I think this is the best thing to do. At least I have a square for my knight to go to someday. Rook a7 doesn't seem right. I'm actually liking my position for the first time, and there's probably still some issues. Actually, I have bishop h3. He has this move. No, that's not on. This move, bishop h3, allows knight e4. Okay, can't do that. No, I can do this. More importantly, though, I'm trying to get my knight to the really good square on c4. I guess black has to take on f4, take with the pawn, try to attack the f4 pawn. Something like knight h5. Running commentary, guys. Now white is better. Okay, this is another way of doing it. E takes f5, e takes f4. Just making sure I'm not getting mated or something. Takes, hanging pawns, bishop d4 check, king h1. But he has no queen h4. Time. This would be a good time for bishop h3. Humiliating. Just maintain. Yeah, I can play bishop h3 again. Make your bishop great again. I don't know what it does, but I feel like I'm playing the white side of a king's Indian. I guess it's effectively what this is. Desperate exchange sacrifice. The casting of doubt. Steak. I love steak. It's good for you. All right. That's it. I wasn't thrilled with my opening play in this game. Pretty sketchy. I got nothing again. Pre-moving. Showing off my pre-move skills. Pretty lame. Alright. Okay guys, I'm going to try to play these last two games quickly. The hammer. What is the hammer? No more challenges, please. Yeah, once I got to C4... Oh, why so serious is here? I didn't even notice. Once I got to C4, I have a crushing position. But before that, it was like he was purposely... He had purposely been playing like against my knight on C2, and I thought black was probably better. Actually. Why so serious, man? I don't know how you do it. How do you stay up so late? You're young. D5. Even after he's streaming, he's still watching other people stream. It's unbelievable. How do you do it? What's your secret? So D5, I'm supposed to play this, right? Some sort of weird... Oh, they can probably sack a queen. Like knight E5, bishop E5 check. One of those C6, DC, BC, knight takes E5 type of things. Oh, maybe I'm supposed to play knight E7. This is real crap. This is what Miles recommended. Oh man, this looks totally bad for black. This has got to be bad. There was like a game where it's not, I don't know if it's the exact position, but basically Miles got crushed by Iescas in something like this. No, I'm out of here, guys, after the next game. I don't have the endurance. Fake mates. The queen cannot teleport to h6. I like why it's so serious, this commentary. In the last game, rook b6. Maybe e takes f5, the old g4 trick. The pawn that has the right idea. He can sleep. Sleep medication. Alright, what's going on? This dubious opening. Very dubious. Hasterbait, thanks for the 2-bit donation. I didn't mention this earlier. Teddy LV is new here. Say hello. He's catching up on what I missed in the chat there. Okay, what's Unicorn doing? This is just garbage for black. I don't know why I'm playing this. I kind of gave it up. I was playing this a long time ago, but I think I'd play d5. If you forced me to play the black side of the Nimzovich, I would play 2d5. I think white just blundered a pawn for pretty much nothing now. That's a weird move. He thought a long time and then dropped this d5 pawn. Not recommended. The Padilla game worth a check? Check is in the mail. No, he's just dropped a pawn, man. I mean, this is catastrophic for white. Long think, wrong think. Well, let's watch out for potentially avalanching pawns. I'm getting a little bit cocky now. Caro-Kann. Unicorn 99 has played well in the past. This game he played really recklessly. He or she. I'm not sure. It matters. I guess why so serious? He just wakes up early. It's not that he stays up late. He wakes up early. Totally different thing. C6. Glad I didn't show up yesterday. Looks like you were smashing everybody. My Simon went pretty well, better than usual. My game wasn't that difficult, and I didn't have to travel like 2 hours each way to the game yesterday. So how long has this G2 pawn been hanging with check? For a while, apparently. Although I'm not sure I really want to give up my white squared bishop. Knight takes, G2 check, king F1. Bishop takes F3, kind of gives white some play. I mean, this pawn is a pawn, that's true. He has some tactics of bishop takes C6. I probably could do it, let's be greedy. Famous last words. I have a lot of white square weaknesses, and this is going to require me to give up my white squared bishop, which isn't really my favorite thing in the world. Let's ask some other weird way to defend. Maybe I do, like knight h4. Knight h4, queen g4, f5, queen g7. You know, we got a lot of holes to kind of keep together. So I check the sacrifice, that doesn't work. Yeah, he's got some play now. This is standard. Get the lateral defense. Everything's protected. Castle queenside. I think you should definitely castle queenside here. You learned the knight f3 b5 line. We'll probably never face it again. So knight f3 b5, like, I kind of agree with JCS or whoever was saying that e4 is like a good move. Well, I don't know what your conclusion was, Fuchsia, but I think that e4 is so good that you should probably play knight f3 b5 e4. Bishop b7. Bishop takes b5. I might play a6 though and play the St. George, which I prefer. Oh man, I dropped my a7 pawn. The trappage with b6. There is no queen a5 check though, that's the good thing. Make your bishops great again. Those bishops are great. So I was thinking simply taking his bishop 1. I'm getting tired. It's the end of my stream. Get burned out. It's martini time after like 2 hours. So let's just sell out. Selling out for this. Still a little bit of danger because of b4. Maybe I should rip that pawn off. One less pawn to hurt me with. It's a bit weird. You played a couple times against it? Yeah, you should try the St. George Acerbate. e4, a6. I prefer it to b6. It's a bit more active. The extended fianchetto. Sure, they're going to bust you, refute your entire opening with a4 at some point. But that's all right. The way of the world. All right, this looks good. We're up 100 pawns. Just 3, but it feels like 100. Now we have to make the awkward rook f8. That's all right, though. I'm willing to make some concessions for 3 pawns up. Again, I always feel like material is overrated, but it's undeniably, you know, one of the most important principles in chess. So that's that. He got his king to safety. That's another important principle of chess. King safety, control the center, development, material. That's about it. That's all you need to do. If you adhere to those principles, you should have a good game every time out. I think maybe we should just trap it. Make his bishop great again. Not so great. Yeah, this is his only chance. Sleazy cheapo. Last game coming up. This is Fishy the player. Uh-oh. Wait. I said I wasn't going to play him anymore? Alright. No, we'll end the stream now. It's pretty late. He's too good anyway. H6. Should I just give it to him? Bishop takes here. Rook takes c6. Bishop takes a5. Rook takes b7. I mean, this doesn't even work, does it? Let's just take another one. That's 4 pawns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't want to play Vishy the player. Can't beat them. So rook takes c6, b takes c. Yeah, we don't believe you. You do it. Just king b8. Laugh at white. Ran out of stuff. Rook b7. He actually found a move. That's slightly disturbing. He's going to perpetual my queen now. I might have to sack the queen. That'd be funny. I do have a check, though. It's probably a good thing. Check might be good. It's amazing how little threats I've actually had against white, though. My first threat of the game against the white king. Well, I did have a check on g2. I feel like he's been hunting my king. He's a little bit like that player, Andrea, who plays in my simul's. Very one-dimensional, attacking the king. Yes. Again. I'm just dropping a bishop at this point. All right, guys, last game. I gotta go. It was a pleasure. We'll be back tomorrow night. So we're gonna have Blitz tournament, Blitz Arena tomorrow night. European time, 6:30. Eastern time, European. Central European time. I get confused. I'm all over the world. I'm worldwide. So I get confused about my time zone that I'm in. 6:30 p.m. Eastern European time. 6:30 p.m. Central European time tomorrow. Another check. He just won't leave me alone. Stop harassing me. Stop the harassment. Incorrigible. Tomorrow night, 5+3 Blitz. Casual. Arena. That's correct. Take the fun out of the game with the queen trade. Unicorn seems like they like queen trades. All right, that's it, guys. Whew, we got through the stream. Let's see what our final score was for today. This doesn't actually show all my games, does it? So we had like 1 rapid, 1 blitz, 2 rapid, 1 blitz, 3 rapid, 1 blitz. This doesn't count. 1 draw. So we had a draw with Mule Skinner. We should have lost against... We were just totally lost against Haberbomb. Alright guys, thanks for watching and joining us. JCS, thanks for moderating. I will see you guys tomorrow night. And yeah, chill. We'll see you guys later. Thanks everybody. Mr. Esserman, and thanks for joining us. Get some sleep, man. See you all later. Have a great evening or afternoon or wherever you are. The refutation of knight f3, b5 is e4. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Time to say goodbye. Bye. A little bit hungover.